you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you'd probably be forgiven for thinking I've been having a bit of a bad run with the KTM 690 lately. There have been three things that have gone wrong with it in the 12 months that I've had it, and you can probably make up your own mind whether or not you think this constitutes reliability issues for this bike, but in my humble opinion, I feel like only one of these issues has actually been the bike's fault. The other two have been possibly human interference. So yeah, as I said, it's just gone 12 months since I purchased this bike. It had 22,000 Ks on it when I got it. I've done about 8,000, 9,000 now. It's nearly up to 31,000. And of course, that very first issue was the failed dash. Now, that's the one I think it was the bike's problem. I did crash the bike, hit a hidden log in the grass, went over the bars. It was a really jarring accident, but there was no actual impact to the dash itself, but it still failed. And of course I had to replace it with the old Trail Tech here, which I'm not too worried about. It's, you know, it cost a fair bit of money, but at the end of the day, I like the look of it better. Second thing, of course, was the bike broke down when the intake came off the engine. Now that one I think was human error or interference from a third-party aftermarket accessory, which was the Raid Garage tank. I'm fairly certain that it was putting backward pressure on the airbox, which caused that that intake to come off, because those clamps, the hose clamps on there, were actually quite tight. So yeah. Now this third and latest issue, of course, the radiator started leaking. Now, previous owner did tell me that he had crashed the bike and the radiator had started leaking and he had it repaired. I don't know how many Ks that was at, but yeah, it started leaking again. I don't know if it was from the same place or not, but yeah, it just started slowly weeping. It wasn't a big thing, but you know, these sort of problems do tend to escalate if you don't take care of them, nip them in the bud quick. So of course, you know, as you probably know, I did fit the Outback Motortech crash bars to prevent any further damage to the radiator, hopefully. But yeah, I ended up replacing the stock radiator with a Chinese aluminium one. Yeah, in this video, I'll show you what's involved. It's a very easy job, but you know, if you do the steps in the right order, it makes things a lot easier. I just wanted to jump in at the start of the video and let you know what I thought of the radiator overall and the issues that I had installing it. I wasn't expecting it to be a perfect, super easy bolt up, you know. These things never are, especially aftermarket parts. But on the whole, I'm pretty happy with it for the cost. Now, it did cost me $355 shipped from China. I will put a link in the description if you're interested in grabbing one of these from the same seller. Shipping was super fast. It took like a week from China to Gympie. It seems like a solid unit. I've done probably over 200 kilometers on it now. It doesn't appear to be leaking or anything like that. It seems to keep the bike cool, which is what it's supposed to do, I guess. Just cruising along between 70 and 90 kilometers per hour. The temperature on my gauge there sits on about 70 to 80 degrees. The fan is running quite a lot, but the ambient temperature today is 35 degrees Celsius, so it's hot. You can probably see I'm sweating. It's it's very hot and humid. But yeah, it keeps the bike cool, no worries at all. Fitting the actual radiator up to the bike was no worries whatsoever. I transferred all the bits and pieces across from the old radiator, like the you know, the rubber grommets and all that stuff. That all went smoothly. Whacked it in, everything lined up fine. I bolted the actual radiator in. The first of the problems appeared when I went to fit the rad guard radiator guard. The pins, there's two pins on the bottom of that radiator guard that sit in the radiator brackets. They were too close. It kind of seems to me like the Chinese radiator has less of a curve in it than the stock one, but then it's hard to quantify all that because of the fact that my original one had been beaten up and smashed up and whatever. So yeah, by straightening out that radiator guard, it did actually fit better onto this new rad and it made those pins line up. So I was able to get that. I did have to file out the holes that bolt in at the top as well to bolt the radiator guard on, but got that all done. Then the next problem was fitting these side plastics. As you can probably see here, I've ended up using zip ties just to tie the bottom bits on there because there's no way they line up with the holes, like the brackets on the actual radiator is what these bolt onto, and the bolt holes on the radiator are too far back, probably about 20 mil too far back. I thought about making a bracket to adapt it and stuff, and I was like, screw it, I'm going to use reusable zip ties. I don't care. Lightweight solution. But anyway, those are the only problems I had with it, guys. As I said, yeah, the thing fits perfectly to the bike frame and everything. Just, yeah, those side plastics. If you can live with that, then I highly recommend this radiator so far. The only other thing is, how long is it going to last? I don't know. that's yet to be seen, but I'll definitely keep you guys updated. Okay, without further ado, we'll get on with installing this thing. Cheers. Oh, real quick while I got you here, what do you think of the bike now without the windshield on it? I took the windscreen off. Old Ash is like, oh, I can't believe you still got that thing on there. I'm like, oh yeah, I really only leave it on there to keep the rain off my tank bag and my phone if I've got that on the handlebars. But yeah, it doesn't really make much difference to my riding experience. But yeah, I don't know. Looks different. I'll probably get used to it. But anyway. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Cheers.